Welcome to Econ with Wes. This is the first video in the macro playlist. And before we dig deeper into macroeconomics, it's really important that we understand the difference between micro and macroeconomics. So let's begin with microeconomics. Microeconomics, we have the basic economic problem, and the basic economic problem is that we have unlimited wants. However, we have limited resources, the resources being the factors of production, land, labor, capital, and enterprise. But because of the basic economic problem, the three economic groups, the economic agents, households, consumers being the first, firms, and governments, they have to make economic choices because of the basic economic problem. So the choices that households, consumers, and firms make are at a micro level, and they make choices with the objective to meet their microeconomic objective. So households and consumers, they want to maximize their benefit. Firms want to maximize their profit. And governments, they want to maximize the welfare of their citizens. So these choices that households and consumers and firms make in order to accomplish their microeconomic objective has an impact on the wider economy. Okay, has an impact on the macro economy. So macroeconomics is about the macro economy, the wider economy. Okay, the wider economy. So, for an example, households, consumers, they may decide that they want to buy products in order to maximize their benefit. So this creates a demand for products, and therefore there's going to be an increase in demand for products. Well, that will have an impact on the total demand for all the products sold within an economy. Okay, and that is measured by GDP. So if households, firms, and governments are buying more products, that would lead to an increase in GDP, which would lead to economic growth. Also, if households and consumers are demanding more products, therefore that sends a signal to firms to make more products. And if they make more products, if they produce more products, they're going to need more labor in order to make those products. Okay, so therefore, if firms need more labor, that is going to have an impact on employment and unemployment, because if firms need more labor to make more products as a result of demand from households and consumers, then that's going to reduce unemployment as a result. Okay. However, if households and consumers demand less products, then firms will make less products, and therefore they would need less labor, and as a result, unemployment would increase and employment would decrease as a result. Also, this will have an impact on inflation. Okay, the decisions made, the microeconomic choices made by households and firms and governments will have an impact on inflation. Now, inflation is the average increase in the price of products. So if at a micro level, consumers are demanding large quantities of products, or they increase in more products, that will increase aggregate demand, total demand for all products, and as a result, that's going to result in the average increase in the price of products, which will mean inflation occurs. Okay. And finally, firms, in order to maximize their profit, it might be cheaper for firms to import products from overseas, to import parts from overseas. So therefore, that will have an impact on imports, okay? And therefore, there might be firms in overseas countries that want to import products from the home, the domestic economy. So therefore, that would have an impact on exports as well, okay? So here we can see that the microeconomic choices made by households, consumers, and firms because of the basic economic problem, these choices made by the three economic groups will have an impact on the wider economy, will have an impact on economic growth, employment and unemployment. It will have an impact on imports and exports, and will also have an impact on the average price of products, inflation, or possibly there could be an average decrease in the price of products, which will be deflation. I hope you now have a really good understanding of the difference between microeconomics and macroeconomics. Look out for future content videos, and thank you very much for watching.